Muffler's off. I wonder what this thing sounds like unmuffled. Wow. That's awesome. Well, check out this problem I just encountered with Frankie. The muffler's coming apart a little bit. Looks like it vibrates so bad. I noticed it because I could hear these vibrating while I was riding, and it vibrates enough that the rivets pulled right out of this. I think this shell is aluminum and then this inner piece is steel, so I think it's just because. So this side's fine, still nice and tight. This side, I think it's just because this spring is pulling on the exhaust. So I'm going to take that off of there. I think I'm just going to zip off a layer. Might take this bracket off and fix it up, put it back together. Bloody hot. Alright, so I'm going to try riveting these two together again. And this measures 13 inches in circumference. Oops. 13 inches. So when you're riveting, this is called a rivet fan. You can use it to evenly space rivets, and it even has little markings like if you want 1 inch, there's one. You line it up with a little line angle. That means these two holes are 1 inch apart. All the holes are going to be 1 inch apart. And this flange is 1/2 inch deep. So I want to be about in the middle of that. So I want to make my rivets in from the edge about 1/4 inch. Dot where I want my rivets. Let's do one there, one there. All right, now take a piece of tape to mark my line and use the dots as a guide. So I'm going to start and have one at the top for sure. I marked them with silver just to see them a little bit better. Now I'm just going to go around Alright, so this is the top. So that spring perch goes on the top. I'm just going to tape this in for now. Alright, I'm going to start at the top. I would say those are fairly even, except because of the little bracket I had to space these a little differently, but that's okay, they won't be very visible. Alright, now we rivet. Alright, so I'll just start anywhere, it doesn't really matter. There we go. Alright, ripped the rivets in. I really like that look a lot better. I had to grind off a bit of that old bracket. I think that was for the original plastics. I'll just touch that up with some black paint when I get home and call it a day. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing back together. A little bit of lube. That'll make the muffler slide on there really easy. Like that. This tool's pretty clutch. I used to do this with a pair of needle nose pliers, but this is just a hook with a handle on it to get that spring on there. These springs can be pretty tough.
Another slight drawback of this bike is the engine is hard mounted, just like I think all dirt bikes, but that means vibrations, you can feel them. Being a 500, that rotating mass is heavy and it idles high, and even on the road, you know, at high RPM, you can feel the vibes. That definitely fatigues my hands after a little while. Now I've got these comfort cushy rubber grips on there, and they're good, but you know, it's no cruiser. Woohoo! Yeah! $16 to $35. Do as I say, not as I do, boys and girls. With the speed and agility this bike offers, you got to be on it with your senses. Maintain a situational awareness at all times.
All right, been riding around all week with this thing. It looks like the rivets are all still nice and tight. I think one of the problems last time was I used oversized rivets in the existing screw holes, and the screw holes were just a little bit big, and that allowed them to vibrate and vibrate more and more and more, and then eventually they vibrated enough to cut the metal. This time I drilled holes that were the exact size for these rivets, number 30 bit, so should be good to go.